Teresa had haters too. But the impact she left to morning to be here. She might not even understand what Busia is made of. But she knows that there is a woman in Busia who I must hold hand. How many will come out of their own counties, their own comfort zones, to go look for a nobody? Because that is what I was used to. This one is stubborn. Just give her the mic, she will cool down. This one, if you don't let her talk, she will spoil this meeting. Those are the definitions I got, but I did not know what was really pushing me to also be that kind of woman. Then I realized I was raised in a patriarchal society, where when men are talking, no woman should be around first. When they finish, now the women can come in. And they tell you what they have discussed. Not you sitting on the table to also say, how about us approaching this way? I stand here with no regrets of what I've done or didn't do, of what they say or don't say. Why I am still standing today is my stubbornness to be relevant. My stubbornness to count. Whether anyone or whoever you think does not see it now or does not feel you should not bother you. What bothers you is where you marked that you want to go. If there is an impediment, be it a fellow woman or man, just look for another way of still reaching where you wanted to reach. People call me Honorable Catherine, I forget. I would love to be called just Catherine, because some of these titles make us forget ourselves. Having lost a father, at the time I was realizing the importance of daddies was hard. Then my mom being thrown out, I didn't know who to trust. I still suffer when somebody moves to me so close. I struggle to trust. I even don't know how my husband puts up with me. I'm difficult because of the conflict that I've been through the whole time. And I thank God that no man has ever taken advantage of me. If there's anything I've done with a man, I chose. Even today I'm in parliament, I never slept with any man to get this seat. If I was to sleep with a man to get where I am, I could have done it in 2007. Because I had no bank account either. I waited for this. I prepared to be there. I fought in silence. Many times I've buried my head on the pillow, weeping silently. Even my husband could not notice that I'm weeping. If he notices, I kiss him and tell him, love you. But in my mind, I'm like, tomorrow morning, I must make an impact where I've been put to represent. Fellow women, for anyone to see why it is important for us to be inclusive, to be included in leadership roles, leave a legacy, put a mark, do something out of the normal as a woman, whether we like it or not. Anything a woman does is magnified, especially if it is negative. Let them see that actually with women, we are safer. And some of us have been called flower girls. Be a nice flower that doesn't wilt on that table. I would have said more, but I came late. And when you come late, you are guilty as charged. I will meet many of you in the near future. We will talk more because I know some of you have so many questions. My husband is there taking a photo of me. Few feminists that believe in women. And with me, I came with a doctor in our home, our last born, Daktari Isabella. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Honorable Catherine. At least now we know we can put a face to who you kiss at night. We saw a very handsome man. And it's true. I think it is up to us to empower other women, to bring them up with us. We have been taught to compete with each other. We've been taught to put other women down. Why? And I think Honorable Catherine said it right when she said, we've been brought up in a patriarchal society. And the truth is, and with all due respect to every single man in this room, the thing is, we have been taught to forget our power as women. We've been taught that shrinking is the best way to be. Being silent in a room full of people with opinions and chest thumping is the best way to be. But that narrative is changing, and it's come a long way. It's not only the women in this room and the women who have come before them, but decades and decades of women who've been born and brought up on this continent who have done wonders so that we can sit here in this room today and have conversations like this. Now, talking about women empowerment, to ask Madam Elizabeth Kipkum to come and say a few words. And the reason we ask you to keep it just a bit brief is because of time. We do need to finish by about 1:30, and we do have some panel discussions coming up. So please put your hands together for Elizabeth Kipkum.
Thank you, Pinky. Before I say good morning, Catherine, you've touched our hearts. You've spoken. You took words from our mouths. Well done. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is the beginning of yet another new dawn for women in this country and beyond. Beijing opened the doors. I therefore wish to thank all women who walked this journey before us, and I call them our heroines. Kenya has given attention to women leadership, especially after the introduction of affirmative action for both girls and women, the Kenya Vision 2030 Blueprint for Economic Development, and the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Recently, there has been calls for greater gender equality, enhancing the need to close the gender gap. Although tremendous strides have been made in this aspect, there is still a fundamental lack of women in leadership roles. We take a look at the Fortune 500 list in America. You find that 15% of the CEOs are women. Companies boasting a high representation of women on their boards do outperform the organizations that do not, by and anyway, have a notable degree. Proven studies show that greater gender diversity is significant more when they're women. This spells out that the need for more female leaders has never been more critical. Organizations have a responsibility to create better policies and opportunities for women. However, women also need support to step forward and overcome the habits of holding back, like what we've just had here. We shy away from things, we shy away from standing up. When we are speaking and somebody makes a bit of noise, you start swallowing back your words. We should stop that. Promoting female leadership does not mean undermining efforts or position of others. It is all about fostering an inclusive environment that really values diversity and equality. We strive for a balanced representation of a diverse society. To support women in leadership positions, it is about understanding the systematic barriers facing them and not an indictment of individual situations. We are not only creating a more equitable and just society, but contributing to the overall progress of our communities. It is time to listen to ways to encourage female leadership without taking a self-centered approach and considering it an attack on our situations. Instead, taking a step back and see it as an opportunity for growth and progress. Why female representation in society? That's a question that I always like to pose. If you include women in leadership, they do give new perspectives to any team and an organization as a whole. They have exceptional leadership skills. They prioritize well-being for themselves and their teams. They value flexible working hours, and they forge strong relationships. Women leaders help increase productivity, enhance collaboration, inspire organizational dedication, and improve fairness within households, including decision-making over land and household income. They improve access to education and healthcare for their families. It has therefore been seen that countries with greater proportion of women as top decision makers have lower levels of income inequality. We look at what is the role of women in our normal society. Women are the backbone of families and communities. They provide care, support, and nurturing to their families, and they are essential to the development of children. They play a significant part in community building, most times taking leadership roles in community organization. How do we then encourage women leadership? We should start nurturing women when they're young and encourage them. The girl child should not be told that the kitchen is your place. They should be given tougher challenges, just as a boy child. And I believe we can do twice as better. We've seen that around, and all of a sudden there's this outcry about the boy child, which was never heard before. We should also increase agency among women within the existing context. Low self-confidence being made to not perceive or value leadership roles, which they may have already. We should build capacity and confidence. We should promote workplace policies that enable women to thrive. For example, we should have paid-up maternity leave, breastfeeding spaces, incentives for men to take up paternity or parental leave. I hope the men in the house don't feel discouraged about that, but we feel that women play so much, at least that should be a contribution that they make. Building skills of the female labor force. We should open wider for women to move into managerial and supervisory roles. Recruit women for leadership roles. Should ensure women have a voice at the table within decision-making platforms. We need to first be on a seat at the table, not only in a political context, but spaces at all levels where they can exercise leadership. We need to value women's voices, welcoming participation of women to influence policy, create responsive programs, and lay the foundation that will realize aspirations. How do we start working on breaking the ceiling for women leadership? We should embolden women to take their seat, provide more advocacy, sponsorship, and mentoring. Empower women to own their success and end discrimination against working mothers. Build confidence, growth mindset, and create proper networking opportunities. We should showcase our role models. Today, in this room, each and every one of us is a role model in our own capacity. But we have the women who have come before us. I can see my learned friends, Justice Effie, Honorable Her Excellency Martha Karua, Madam Betty. I think you have gone before us. You're a role model to many. And I've added our one and only Catherine, Honorable Esther Passaris. I think we're all doing a good job, ladies. We should clap for ourselves. We should also facilitate environment for women to speak. Address the unconscious bias where there's favorism towards certain groups or individuals based on their gender, race, ethnicity. We should challenge stereotypical notions of gender roles and break down barriers preventing women from rising to leadership positions. Therefore, creating a more inclusive environment, welcoming diverse leadership, and encouraging women to pursue opportunities without fear of prejudice or discrimination. Some of the challenges I feel we should address: men are still majority at leadership level across board. We have difficulty in creating supportive networks. Women balancing family and work can be a tedious affair. Most men look at women as emotional beings, which sometimes I don't think is true. We should also look at sexual gender-based harassment, places of work, and domestic violence, which we have lost a sports lady in this country today. And many more, as Catherine said, that are never talked about. Lastly, women leadership will paint the future. Unique transformational ideas will be brought to the front. We should enhance teamwork. Women have to be known to demonstrate to demonstrate superior leadership values. Women can achieve better financial outcomes. Women have fresh new outlooks and perspectives, and they have the ability to wear many hats. In view of all the above, I wish all women attending this conference today fruitful deliberations and to increase the number of and support the success of females in politics, in the socio-economic and the community space. May the Almighty God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth Kipkum. I agree. Stop swallowing our words. That is what we have been taught to do. And I think you spoke so eloquently when you said that. I think also what we can take away from what you said today is collaboration is key. But what I loved most about what Elizabeth just said is that we should facilitate women to speak. Again, going back to what I said before, we've not been taught. Somebody in this room said that. I was not taught. I wonder who she is. Yeah, we have the t-shirts, right? I was not taught. But we have not been taught But here that changes. It is about to change. I would like now to ask the NARC Secretary General, Advocate Asha Bashir, to come and say a few words. Please give her a round of applause. You'll be hearing more from Asha as she is a moderator as well on our panels this morning. Welcome, Asha.
Good morning, ladies. Morning, gentlemen. The he for she welcome. Mine is just speak about the youthful women in politics and leadership. Leadership is broad. It doesn't mean necessarily in politics. And my message is we are having this conference at a time that the young women of this beautiful country have decided to stand up and go out and fight for their rights. You saw it during the demonstrations. I am also humbled today to be here before my seniors in my profession. Women have come out in different platforms, from the legal field where I belong to any other field, media, name it. My message today as a youthful woman is one. We have always felt that there is a space that the older women are not holding hands. The older women, on the other hand, say, no, you young people never listen or you never come. So then where is the balance that I can come as a young woman and find my senior Lady Justice Effie to hold my hand and mentor? From my experience, it's a balance of two. It depends with how you go. The saying that people say women hate each other, for me it's not true. It depends how you go. If I come to my sister Beth Siengo and start insulting her, how will she mentor me? If I don't go to her, there are millions who walk to her office. There are millions who go to Catherine. There are millions who go to Esther. So the theme today was locating her. Locate yourself first. Know what you want, the way Catherine said. Then from there, pick up the mantle and move to the person you feel can mentor you, so that you don't always sit and complain. Where we are, it's a synergy. It's like a game of relay. When you're doing relay, it is teamwork. I will run, pass the baton to the next person, to the next person. If we don't help and train and ensure that the participants doing the relay all come to the field in the morning to do the rehearsal, the first person might be lazy, sleep, and doesn't pass the baton. So basically it means the space is so big for us, but we are engulfed in issues of mental health as young women, broken families, marital issues, career hitches, lack of jobs, all that bog the young woman down. So my message this morning is to say, locate yourself first, then move. And to my seniors, the message is, locate her. Hold a younger woman. Locate her. As we locate us, my plea is to the strong women we have in this room. I am at least privileged because I was located by her. At least I've worked with the Honorable Martha Karua. We share the same profession. So she's mentored me both from the professional angle and also in the political angle. So the younger women, locate yourself. To the women who've made a difference in this country, locate her. Because you can imagine if we have a generation, 10 years, 15 years down the line, who are you passing the baton to? Will you sit and say, I have left this country a better place because as a medic, I have held young women, and this doctor today treating me at my old age, I am the one who mentored her. So the world is big, the spaces are many. Let's not fight each other. Let's assume we are all in a game for relay. Let's all support each other in terms of what is the issue. I said our biggest issue, and that's a topic, on mental health is at the highest for younger women. But then, over time, we realize it's also for the older women, but the difference is they don't speak. So they keep to themselves. The younger women have a way of speaking and saying, this is the challenge we are going through. So as we move throughout this conference and going forward, I beseech all of us, let us locate each other. The spaces are too many. I cannot be a doctor and a lawyer at the same time. But if I see there's a space for a doctor somewhere, let us locate each other, because if we locate each other, we will have various women in different seats and positions that matter. We will not be the meal. We will be on the table to prepare the meal and even decide how we will distribute. I will see you during moderation, so thank you so much. I don't want to take much of your time.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Asha. I have to say, you know, when she said, as a youthful woman, I think we're all youthful women, right? Or am I in denial? I keep bringing my glasses up here and then taking them back and bringing them up because I don't know if I'm ready to wear my glasses on stage yet. But yeah, that's another thing that we have to unlearn as women, is stepping into our power, no matter what age we are, no matter what we look like, no matter where we're from, is just stepping into our power. And, you know, this year has been monumental for this country. Why? Because the younger generation stepped up. As you can see, Asha said what she said, and she said it with no fear. And as we watched the protests, we saw women standing in their power. There was that one young lady. Remember, she was holding on to the wall, the gate. And she, Siendi Baba. Remember, she kept saying that? She's here? Where is she? Where? Where is she? Not her, but still, one of our youth who was there and who was still memorable in regards to. So what I'm trying to say, yes, a round of applause. Because there were so many young girls who did big things, who inspired so many of us youthful women in this room, who made us think, wow, that is powerful. So it's nice to see this young generation stepping into their power. And, you know, there is a lot of Gen Z slang. I'm going to teach you a few words just now, okay? Just a little bit, because it's an educational session as well, and if we need to engage with Gen Z, we need to know what they're saying. So apparently, and this I learned from my children, Sigma means great. Cap means lie. Thank you. No cap means I'm not lying. Mums, apparently, mums means I'm being very serious. Mums. And mother means queen. It is maybe a coincidence, maybe not, that our next speaker has a name that sounds like mother. And she is mother of this nation. Am I right or wrong? She has shown us how to lead. She is so powerful. Please, ladies and gentlemen, may you please kindly be upstanding for our keynote speaker, Martha Karua, Her Excellency.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. What a great day to see you all. We apologize for the late notice for this meeting. At the same time, we are so pleased to see that most of you made it and so many are still on the way. I identify myself with those who have spoken before me. Actually, we are building on each other's words. And I remember Catherine said, the way I understood it is affirm yourself, affirm others, claim your space. You heard what she had to do to get space. I thought, she's taking my words. My book, which is due for launch later this month, you will find somewhere, Catherine, where I had to do what you have had to do. So we need to meet often, share our stories, affirm each other, hold hands, and most importantly, create a sisterhood. I have heard Asha telling us to locate ourselves and locate each other. That's the sisterhood we are talking about. And without much ado, my address is entitled From Margins to the Main Stage: Women Rising and Redefining Kenya's Transformation. Today we gather here under the shadow of those who have come before us, giants, warriors, visionaries who fought for the freedom we enjoy, the rights we champion, and the future we must build. And in this respect, I want to remember Field Marshal Muthoni wa Kirima, who fought fearlessly with the Mau Mau to secure our freedom. Mekatilili wa Menza, the legendary Giriama leader who defied colonial power, showing us that resistance runs in our blood. Grace Onyango, our female then mayor, the very first female mayor in Kenya, very first elected female member of parliament. She shattered barriers, made history, and laid the foundation for women leadership. We remember our own late Nobel laureate, Wangari Maathai, who showed us that women can nurture not just the environment, but also democracy, peace, and justice. And we remember, and she is in this very room, the very first woman judge of the High Court and judge of the Court of Appeal, Effie Owuor, just in case you had not seen her. Those who say I mentored them, you're privileged now to see one of my mentors. When I was employed as a young magistrate, she and Joyce Aluoch are the people I found at the High Court. And she mentored me in more than one way. That's a story for another day. Catch some of it in my book. Majority, but by the way, that is not just from, we all have been mentored by our earliest nurturers. We forget our mothers, our aunties. Those who raised you, those are your earliest mentors. They're all, let us always remember them. As we gather to locate her in leadership, her who is every woman in this room and beyond, we ask ourselves, how do we and exponentially accelerate this revolutionary trajectory? Women have always been at the forefront of change from the days of Priscilla Asiani Abua, the lone woman at the Lancaster House Conference negotiating for the Constitution. How she got there, God knows. To the resistance led by Moran Giti and Muthoni Nyanjiru, whose blood was spilled so that we could be free. These women, like so many others, were more than their titles, more than their roles. They were the heartbeat of the nation's struggle for identity, freedom, and justice. I mentioned them so that you locate yourself as women, that we have been and are still in. Women have never failed, but they are the unsung heroes. Our contribution of the women's contribution throughout history is largely undocumented. Women are rarely remembered or immortalized. We learn of history, his story. We never learn of her story. We must now begin documenting and learning her story. That's the only way we can celebrate ourselves, immortalize ourselves, and affirm ourselves. I always remember my own grandmother, Mwajogu, and the impact she has had on me. And she affirms me 6 feet under, because some things I do, had done similar things before. She, a graduate of the social school. So when we remember women in history, we actually are affirming ourselves and empowering ourselves to move forward. It is, I have already said it's time we celebrate ourselves, our socio, economic, and political impact, the impact we have made in this society. Let me say this, we merely not remember them. We are here to continue their revolution. We are here to remind ourselves that the fight for freedom is never truly over. It just takes new forms. Today, it is the fight for a society that enables everyone a fair chance and a dignified. And our Gen Z have already shown us that. It is the demand for economic justice, for the fortification of our civil liberties, safety in our streets, in our homes, for the strict adherence to our Constitution. When Muthoni Nyanjiro called out the colonial police after the arrest of Harry Thuku, she was not simply protesting an injustice. She was making a statement about the power of women's voices. She was telling us, generations later, that when women rise, societies are transformed. And I think we have seen it everywhere. We are here today to take stock of the milestones in our journey to inclusiveness, to celebrate ourselves, and to ask ourselves how best we can leverage on convening advantage as women. What more can we do for us and society? Women's inclusion and empowerment is a step towards a better Kenya. The power of women in politics and other spheres of influence and decision-making across the board is not about representation only. It's about bringing diverse perspectives. We are wired differently in many ways from the male gender. We need both perspectives for the jigsaw puzzle to be complete. Where the man may think about a road, and a road is very important, it connects. The woman will think about health. The woman will think about food security first. So those perspectives combined will aid the prosperity of our nation. So when we don't include women as a society, we lose. We lose the perspective, the talents of 50% of the population. And you know, sometimes we never think about it. Talent resides in both men and women. We are gifted differently. Sometimes in a home, it's a girl who will shine. The brother may shine in a different field, and vice versa. So when we exclude women, we are excluding the God-given capabilities to our homes, to our communities, and to our nation. We are here to say we must locate ourselves, we must locate her, and we must participate in every aspect of our lives. We have seen the progress the 2010 Constitution has given us. We celebrated its 14th anniversary just last week. Gender quotas are included in our Constitution, but mind you, gender quotas are never our destination. That is the starting point. But people behave as though gender quotas are the destination. So 14 years later, we have not implemented the gender quotas. Even when you go to the counties, where it is as clear as daylight that the IEBC has mandate, after elections are over, to see the gender component of each county, to then calculate how many more members you need for the disadvantaged gender, which in Kenya at the present day is the female gender, to see how many more you need, then distribute them to parties in accordance with the proportion of their membership and of the vote they got in the last election. When it comes to women, IEBC cannot do the math. So in most counties, we do not have 34%, because if not more than 2/3, you round up. What is 1/3? 1/3 is 33 point. When you're dealing with human beings, there is no point. So you round it up upwards to 34%. Any county without 34% is not compliant. And if you calculate, you'll see very many counties are not compliant. There are less than 10 counties that have 34%. It's 31, it's 28. But when it comes to the top up for the minorities and disabilities, then the IEBC has the capability of calculating the numbers. So what is not happening? That is why we must locate ourselves, locate each other, and push. We've got to get this done. We cannot just be talking about it. Similarly, in the executive, the numbers are not right. Look at cabinet and see whether there is 34%. Clearly not. Even just as a glance, you can see. What about in boards, parastatals and all that? Just a smattering. What about the composition of the boards? Why are we silent as women? It cannot be that occasional statement by one or two organizations. If we leveraged our voice together, we will be heard. But if we are divided, then the divide and rule works. It's about legislation, it's about generating the political will, and our voice put together can generate the political will. Elizabeth gave us statistics in the US. I'll tell you that in Kenya, women form only 26% of board members. Only 9% of board chair roles. And that is definitely below. If you go to the workplace, in parliament, women are 23%. Way below the global average of 25. And we don't want to be on the global average. We have a constitution that gives us the starting point. We want 34%. And then we can march toward parity, which is 50-50. If you go to the workplace, a research done on 60 top companies in Kenya by Equilib found that only 12% top positions, CEOs, are held by women. Although it found that women in the workforce are 43%. If you are 43% in the workforce, what is so difficult about 34%? The Constitution does not exempt the private and the public sector. It doesn't distinguish. Article 27 just says, not more than 2/3 of elective and appointive positions should be with the same gender. So, thank you. I hope, is this any better? Yes. Okay. So this is what we must be looking out for. Who will look out if it's not you and me? We are not asking for more than we should have. We are here to demand, because settling for less has never been our option. It's about reshaping Kenya into a land where every woman, from the farmer in Kirinyaga to the businesswoman in Nairobi, can rise, thrive, and lead without fear of discrimination. We are not just beneficiaries of the sacrifices of the past. We are, you are the architects of the future. And when we see ourselves as the architects of the future, then we know our work is cut out for us. A future where women like Eunice Muringo Kiereine, the first African nursing chief officer, and the captains of industry here today continue to break barriers, build legacies, and inspire the next generation. I had hoped Eunice would be here with us today. She was not able to make it, her apologies, but we want to remember, we can't remember all of them because there are too many to mention, but we want us to remember that before us, women broke barriers and women covered the very first milestones of our Gen Z women, from the entrepreneurial spirit that drives our economy to the Gen Z leaders who took to the streets demanding accountability and transparency and justice. All these young women remind us that the revolution is ongoing and we must stand with them shoulder to shoulder to demand more. And that's why I'm very pleased that we were reminded of this young lady, Wanjira Wanjiru, telling the police, I will not cooperate. Asserting herself that the police actually had to walk off. They had the option of dragging her into the vehicle, but they got embarrassed and they walked off. Such is the strength of your voice, my voice, our voice together. And we must always remember that. In many countries, cultural barriers, discriminatory practices, violence against women, both in the private and in politics, remain significant hurdles. Normalization of discriminatory practices has led to bypassing of women in promotion at the workplace, in leadership positions. And I want you to remember, promotion is not just a workplace where, the normal workplace. It's also in politics. Men can easily get to chair parties, not women. It's very few parties that push women to the top. The ODM recently pushed Gladys Wanga to be chair, and Millie Odhiambo, whom we expect here today to be the chief whip. That is a first, is encouragement. We are encouraging parties. When I became chair of NEP Kenya, there are colleagues who left because elderly ones, at least I remember one who told another that no, this is wrong, and he left. Because in his world, it did not exist. What if women joined hands behind women's leadership, right from the MCA in your ward, to the MP, to the governor? We would see the change we want. It's the time we stopped waiting only for legislative and policy measures. Let us ask ourselves, what can we do together to change this? One of it is, if you are in a corporation, locate her and hold her hand. If you are in any situation that you can push other women up, whether in politics, whether in social organizations, let us be each other's keeper. Let us locate each other and improve our showing in society. We've already said why it is critical that we be there. And Elizabeth has captured a study in the US that women-led companies tend to do better than male-led ones. What we are saying, I'm trying to paraphrase, what if in our school curriculum we included gender studies that promoted mutual respect between the genders? What if that was a subject our children learned from the elementary stage to the highest level? It's one of the powerful ways of changing. What if we as women, we are the nurturers, what if we became intentional in how we raise our children and make sure that we raise them to respect each other, both boys and girls, that we raise men who respect women? It's one of the, the fastest ways. In other words, what I'm trying to say, we also have not played our role completely. We are scratching the surface. We need to look at what more we can do without asking for help. We will ask for help, we will press, but there are things we can do also to improve the situation. Let us redefine what leadership looks like in Kenya. Let us together recalibrate the political culture of extraction. Look at what is happening. That we are overtaxed and the service delivery is below par. Look at the issues of accountability. It looks like we are beginning to go back to our comfort zone after the Gen Z protests. We have forgotten that accountability is still a big issue. Why would a police officer be summoned to court and fail to appear 6 times? And why would the court continue taking pleas? They should be returned to the police station to flood the police stations until the police can respect the authority of the courts. We must look at every institution, every arm of government, every space to see whether there is accountability. And do not fear, asking for accountability can be done in many ways. It's not only going to the streets, that's just one of them. We can also down our tools wherever we are and say there will not be productivity for the next 2 days. If we are 43% of the workforce, that would be significant. If our brothers support us, that would be totally significant. A shutdown is also a protest. Let us not fear. We know we are living in an era where human life has been trivialized. The sanctity of the human body has been trivialized. When you have close to 1,000 seriously injured in peaceful protests, when you have people still being abducted today and the police refusing to obey court orders, you know we are not in a good place. It will take some engineering, some architecture for now and the future for us to get out of where we are, even to improve our lot as women. Let's get it together and do what we can. We owe it to ourselves as women. We owe it to those who are before us, the warriors, the freedom fighters, the leaders. And we owe it to the future generations to be relentless in our pursuit for a better and more inclusive Kenya. So what will shape this moment and how can we commit ourselves today? I want to suggest that when we leave today, let it not just be another talk shop. Let us go to our counties. We each come from counties. If you think of transforming Kenya, it's mind-boggling. But if you think of transforming your county, you will go look for others, and you'll take the revolution to the wards. You will take it to the polling stations. And by the time we are done, we will have transformed Kenya, a county at a time, a ward at a time. We are in 2024. If we start this, by 2026, you will have grown leadership from the ward level. And not just any leadership, leadership that is in accord with Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Leadership that cares for the people. If you start early, you have enough time to know the leaders you are growing. You have enough time to see whether these are people who have people at heart, people who have respect for others. If you have respect for others as a leader, you will listen to what the people are saying. You will not go and vote in the finance bill when the people have rejected it. And I'm talking of corporate. A parliament that listens, you don't have to go to the streets for it to act. A leadership that listens. And most of all, leaders who listen do not run away from their constituents, because that's happening in so many places. I want to praise the leadership of women and say, women rarely run away from their constituents. Even when they are being told off, women will sit and listen. And I want to urge the women present here to continue doing what they do, listening and working for the people. That way, we will increase women's leadership. Let us look out for each other in business. Sometimes you just support somebody with an idea, not even money. Sometimes just showing them where to look. And if you can support them with money, why not? Any way you can support, let's support each other. In all the spaces, let us support each other. Honorable Mushomba, you are coming in when I have Karibu. I've just been praising women's leadership, and I am glad you are one of those delivering. And I am saying if this can be magnified and multiplied, we will be there. Let us encourage and mentor young women in education. Let us take steps to launch a Women for Women mentorship initiatives. And this can be again county-based, because if we do it nationally, when shall we be able to go to 47 counties? But imagine if you are based in your county, you can visit virtually every girls' school. You can visit every school if you wish, because we've also got to mentor our sons to become gender sensitive and to be value-based leaders. And by the way, you mentor people even of different genders and age. Mentorship is not just sitting together across the table. It's seeing what you do, not what you say. If you say one thing and do another, you don't mentor, you confuse. So I want to tell our women leaders present here, you are mentoring more than you ever meet, and to step it up so that you even mentor more. And women leaders is not just members of parliament, it's all of you. Locate yourself and step up and mentor as many. We must have a system, we must come up with a system where we yearly audit where we are, where the gender agenda is, where we audit government institutions, where we collect data, even in the private sector, so that I'm not referring to a study done in 2019. We're in 2024, ladies. But what I could get was the 2019 study. We need gender disaggregated data to be able to show us even the wage gap between men and women for similar jobs. Because even in the wage sector, we are earning less for the same jobs as men. I am not giving a full prescription of what we should do, but I'm saying let this be a movement of women and males, he for she, so that we see what we can do with our voices together to transform the landscape. How we can locate you, locate me, locate the next woman, and push our agenda forward. I thank you.
Another round of applause for Her Excellency Martha Karua. Yes, a standing ovation, and when you do stand, I will ask you to remain upstanding kindly. We need to stretch our legs a little bit, shake it out a little bit. I know he's not a DJ, he's a sound engineer, but sound engineer, I will need your help with some good music, because we're going to do a little bit of an activity. You know, they say when you sit too long, you get a flat ass. And we don't want a flat ass, although my husband complains about mine all the time. Sorry, can we just lower the music just a bit? We're going to do a little bit of an activity before we break. And I will definitely need everyone's attention. So, all eyes up here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do a poem. Okay, so when I read out the poem, there are certain words that you're going to use actions to. Are we together? We're together? Let me stand here so you can all see me. So, woman or women, this is the action that we're going to use. Gentlemen, you're very welcome to participate as well. Don't look bored, it's for you as well. So, this is women or woman. When you hear it in the poem, that's what you're going to use. Powerful. Even both your hands, yes, powerful. Stomp my feet. What will that look like? Right? Don't worry, we're getting somewhere. Just follow what I'm asking you to do together. Fire. Although I know it means something else for the deaf community. Fire. Okay, so we'll use that, all right? So not this, that. That's sign language for fire. Voice. Making decisions. Athletes. Mothers. Prosper. And yes, I think that is it. So I'm going to use, so we've got it, right? Woman or women. Voice, what does voice look like? Good. Stomp my feet. Together. Great, I like it. You're paying attention, even though you're a latecomer. We're paying attention. Mothers or mother. Athletes. Prosper. Good, 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 good. Did we do fire? Let's do fire again. Did we do empower? What should empower be? Good, I like it. Powerful or power? Power or powerful? And making decisions. Okay, so we're going to be watching you. I'm reading a poem. And we're going to use the actions when you hear the words. Are we ready? I use my voice. I am woman. I stomp my feet and defy society. We are women. We come together to create change. We are mothers. We are athletes. We prosper and we provide. We make decisions. I am woman. I am fire. I am power. I am woman. I use my voice. And as a woman, I bring together the young and old to empower, to make decisions, to ensure that our mother, our nation, continues to prosper even when I am long gone. Amazing. A round of applause for you all. And as you remain upstanding, I'm going to ask our mother, Martha Karua, Her Excellency, just to come on stage because I think we need to give her flowers. And once we do that, we will break for some snacks and we'll be back here for our panels in about 15 minutes. I'm going to ask Kijo. Kijo, you ready to give Her Excellency her flowers? All right, are we ready? It still needs your participation, everyone.
Thank you, DJ. So you can move a bit like right, left, right, left, right, left, and stop. DJ, thank you so much. Thank you, DJ. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pinky. Yes, as you heard, my name is Kijo, and we are going to give Honorable Martha Karua her flowers. And how we are going to do it is very, very easy. It needs to be very interactive. So just close your eyes for a minute. Open your eyes. Again, close your eyes. Open your eyes. So imagine you are in a beautiful garden of flowers. Beautiful garden of flowers. Have you imagined? Very beautiful. Close your eyes and visualize. Close your eyes and visualize beautiful flowers. In that garden, there are rose flowers. Pick the rose flower, pick it gently, spread some love in it, spread some love, spread some love, spread some love. Pick another rose as you just open your eyes again. Pick the roses, pick a rose flower, pick carnations, pick red, pick yellow, pick purple, pick pink, pink orange. Have you picked all the flowers? So I'm going to ask for your help in a minute. Just hold the mic. So as you pick the flowers, just pick the flowers. Pick them well, pick them together, pick them again, pick them again. A beautiful bow, a beautiful bow. Please give the flowers to Martha Karua.
So those are imaginary flowers. But still, we have given her flowers, are we right? Somebody who deserves all the flowers, as do all of you. We can now take a little bit of a break, take a walk around, network, have some coffee, tea, and some snacks. And then we'll be back here in exactly 15 minutes to start with our panel discussions. Thank you.
Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikayalami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami dawo yami ayikholana buso wami awukholana ilondoloze zuhambe nami hapana kucheza na mtu kona neema hapana kucheza na mtu kona neema neema ya baba inaleta uzima neema ya baba inanipa salama neema ya baba inanipa amani neema ya baba inanipa uzima kuimba kwangu naimba msalama ya Yesu, ya Yesu.
Umwaka ndo mwaka kufosi, yani mtake msitake umwaka mtanita bosi. Oya, sete Chui Oh no 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 Oh Umwaka ndo mwaka kufosi, mutake msitake utanita bosi. Umwaka faida sorosi, ushalala njaa, umwaka mwenda misosi. Sisi Mungu anatulinda, japo madui wengi anatuinda. Vita nyingi ila tutashinda, ushanyanyasika umwaka mwenda kuvinda. Umwaka nanunua gari niwape lifti, umwaka namaliza nyumba yangu kibiti. Umwaka wa machozi kwa Exaloni saliti, siku ya harusi yangu musimpe hata juisi ya nikome. Umwaka 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 ndo mwaka kufosi, yani mtake msitake mtanita bosi. Umwaka 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 Kwanza nashukuru tumevuka, tumeona yale yaliyopita yametukomaza. Oya wanangu wa bodaboda, wakina mama wauza mboga, hata wachawi wabeba nyota, umwaka ni wetu. Kama unadanga danga sana, ila usisahau kumekibwana, uje kujenga kakibanda na wewe na kwenu. Na ukipata limama nikomoe, nikupe pesa umwaka utoboe. Usikae kizembe na usichague jembe, kama mkulima lima, kama unaimba imba utoboe. Umwaka umwaka